So many people are really mad on Matthew Knowles because they think he is the reason why Rowland's career never moved on. Matthew is the father of Beyonce and Solange Knowles, and he was and still is the manager of the group Destiny's Child. After the group decided in 2002 to put their careers on pause, they started to focus more on their solo careers. Everyone knows that Rowland had this big huge hit with Nelly, Dilemma. It went to #1 in a lot of countries, including America. So Kelly did not have a lot of time to record her first solo album. She had just 2 weeks to finish it. Because of the success of the singer, she was the second member of the group who released a solo album. Normally it was planned to release Beyonce's solo album before Kelly's album. They wanted to give Miss Kelly Rowland a little bit more time to find her own sound. But because of the unexpected success of Dilemma, they changed the whole plan. Matthew had a master plan. He wanted to put every member of the group in a different music genre, to make every member superstar on that genre and then to come back as a group and to become bigger and better. His goal was it to get new fans. Michelle had the gospel genre, Beyonce had the pop R&B genre, Kelly was more the alternative rock R&B chick. He wanted Kelly to become the new Tina Turner of the new generation. That period of time she was in love with rock music, R&B music, and he wanted to put those two genres into her album. And if you listen to the first album, you hear a lot of rock elements in her music. You hear a lot of R&B with rock influences. Her first album sold over 4 million records worldwide. In America, she did get a gold certification for the album. She had a #1 hit song with Nelly and the top 40 single with the song Stole. So Kelly started to tour in Europe and Australia, but not in America, and that's the point I never understand. Why they wanted her to be just a superstar in Europe and not in America. Some people say it could be because of the numbers. The other people say that he wanted to block her career in America to let Beyonce shine. So after Kelly came back from the tour, she started to work on a second album. This time around, she wanted to do more R&B music. Matthew did not like the idea, but he supported her. He thought she had a better chance to become a huge big superstar if she stayed in the rock R&B genre. The second album did not sell as much as the first album. I think she sold 1.2 million albums worldwide. For the second album, she did not get any certification. I think for the first album she did get 5 or 7 certifications. This time around it was different. Shortly after that, Columbia dropped her. During that time she fired Matthews as her manager. First album and second album were really great. Till this day I think those 2 albums were the best album she ever released. A lot of people blame Matthew because Kelly's career never took off the way people wanted her to go up. For me personally, he did a great job. He cared about all members of the group. Of course he cared more about Beyonce because this was his daughter, but he gave all of them a platform. After Matthews she had some success with a lot of singles, but after that she never had an album that sold more than 1 million records worldwide. It's sad because after that she had bigger singers, she had bigger songs, but she was never able to sell more albums. She never did get a certification in the US for Here I Am and Talk a Good Game. To be 100% honest, I don't think the biggest problem was Matthew, because if he was the problem, why her career is messy till this day. Again, I said it already in the last video. A beautiful woman, talented, she looks good, she can sing, but career wise, especially when it comes to music, messy. I said it in my last video. Back then I was rooting for her, especially in the period of time where she released Here I Am. I was personally listening to that album every day. I already said it in my last video. That album could easily get a platinum certification. But that period was messy too, because remember, she released the album and then she flew directly to the UK to promote the X Factor UK, which was not bad because it helped her to get more popular in the UK, and UK loved Kelly more than America. With her first 2 albums, she was bigger in Europe, UK and Australia than in America. The game changer started when she released Motivation. At that time, people in America started to notice her. Of course, she promoted the song and that was the reason why the song went #1, but she never had the time to promote the full album. After the X Factor, I think she went with Chris Brown on tour. She was the opening act, and then she was in Australia. She was on tour there with T-Pain, Trey Songz and other R&B acts. But with Here I Am, she never headlined a tour. In between, she was recording songs for Talk a Good Game. Talk a Good Game were more middle tempo songs, it was more slow songs. At that point point it don't make sense for me because Here I Am is such an energetic, loud, strong R&B EDM album, and Surfer fans in Europe and Australia, Talk a Good Game is completely the opposite. When it comes to structure, it don't make sense because at that point you're gonna lose your fans. And Here I Am, she mixed that very well because even when someone is not an R&B fan, he can listen to the whole album. When it comes to numbers, Talk a Good Game is her weakest album that she ever released. Just sold 250,000 copies worldwide. Now here's my thing, till this point we can blame the label. We can say the label was not right, they was not promoting her, they was not pushing her. And then she disappeared for 6 or 7 years and came back, and her comeback was not strong at all. Before she was talking a lot about this time the preparation is different and everything's in order, but like I said in my last video, I disagree. Like, I think that was the worst era ever. First, let's talk about the music. Kelly was a good song because she was talking about her own life, she was talking about the shit that's going on in her life. She was saying things like, bitch, I really thought it was over. Until this day I tried to figure out what she mean with that. But she was talking about her life. She talked about the things she were going through at that period of time. I really thought that song will set the tone for the next album. And that time she had an interview where she was talking about 2 different albums. She said, I have 2 different songs on the table, and one album is really open, it's really direct, it's really into your face, it's really hip hop, and the other album is a little bit more fun and good vibes. She was unsure with which album she wanted to go. That time she was talking a lot about the producer Sham. He worked with Kanye and Jay-Z, and he helped her to find the sound because the main goal was at that time to make a record with substance. She was totally inspired by Solange and Beyonce, A Seat at the Table and Lemonade. But I think after time she started to record more songs, and the album with substance was not topic anymore. If you listen to her last EP, her lyrical content is very weak. After 7 years, she did not step up when it comes to lyrical content. In her past, she already recorded a lot of sex songs. It feels like she wants to recreate motivation all the time. But listen to Coffee, listen to Hitman, listen to Crazy. She's always talking about the same shit. The music she recorded is cool for the fan base, but if you want to become bigger, better, and explore yourself more, you need to step up. While she was on The Voice Australia, there was a battle that she did between Denzel and Henry. I don't know if it was her idea, but what she did was a masterpiece. That type of creativity, that type of thinking, she needs more when it comes to her own music. But I ask myself why she never recorded a song with Sam Perry, because Sam is exactly the type of genre she serves, and that boy is super talented. It seems like she's stronger when she mixes R&B with a different genre. With the right lyrical content, she's always on point. She's now over 20 years in the game, but you can see sometimes she struggled a lot to find herself in the music industry as a solo artist. She did some things in music, but for me personally, I will never say she established herself as a solo artist, because I think there's so much room there for her career. And a lot of people from the outside feel exactly the same way. As a fan, you are just there to support. You're gonna support everything. You're not gonna critique. But I think as a music lover, you can critique it better. And to be very honest, she's fighting till this day to come out from Beyonce's shadow, even when some people say no, she's not. But the clip that we saw on the Red Bull session proved that she fights with that till this day. She's not the only member. Look at LaToya Luckett. She did not long ago, she mentioned on her Instagram page that people never respect her. They call her always LaToya from DC, but she said, after DC, I did a lot, but it seems like people never respect my work. Kelly on the other side got it. If she had the right music, if she had the right team, the right plan, she can conquer this industry. The structure in her team is completely messy, and sorry that I'm saying that, but the last EP proved that. Like I said in my last video, she's good and promising stuff, but when it comes to deliver, she has always excuses. Something is wrong with the marketing. Everybody knows that. For years, something is not right when it comes to her marketing. She need a better plan to market the stuff, because something is not working. We know independent, yes we know, but she can do so many different things. So many platforms are out there that you can use. In my last video, I had some examples that showed what an artist like her can do to become better and to promote herself in a more strategic way. On Facebook Live, she mentioned that she cannot promote stuff all the time because that's money and that's too expensive and stuff like that. So why you don't create your own podcast? People loved Coffee with Kelly, and it's a perfect way to promote your music, doing breaks and stuff like that. I have so many different ideas for her promotion. Like some of them, I said it in the last video, sometimes it makes me so angry, and I ask myself why she don't use the platforms that we have today not right. Instead of complaining all the time and saying there are so many rules, you have to do this, you have to do that to get played on that radio station or to be seen on this TV shows, create your own platforms. Today you have the chance to do that. There are so many possibilities to do that, and you have a huge fan base, and with stuff like that you're gonna get new fans. Because for me personally, the last hour was like, okay, I'm gonna drop music and then I'm gonna perform on 2 or 3 shows and I'm gonna disappear again. For me, it did not feel like it was prepared well. It was like, let's do fast music out, and then nobody gonna ask us about the music anymore. The music was not strong at this point. You expect something else, like, because you become older and you cannot talk about the same shit over and over again, and too many things are happening right now in this world. So I think lyrical content is very, very important. I think she needs to step up in every area when it comes to singing, when it comes to music, when it comes to dance routines, when it comes to a set list. Take the DC songs please out, because you're performing it since 2007, all the years all over again, the same songs, because you are too scary to perform just your own songs and to show the people who you are. You cannot be like, on the one side people never respect me as a solo artist, on the other side you are like, you are holding always on the DC stuff. For me personally, don't make sense. She need to step up on every level. I don't say she did nothing in this music industry. She did some things, of course, but most of the people respect her more because she was a member of DC, because she's B's friend, or because she's seen on TV that much, because she's a professional socialized person. Not in a bad way, but it's just the truth. I think a lot of people are rooting for her. A lot of people want her to win. So I hope, really I hope, that some things will change in the future, and that she understands that she need to do a whole album and not a EP to make people happy. We don't need a bunch of EPs. We need a whole album. I hope you liked the video. If you've not seen the first part of my Kelly Rowland's video, then click right now on the info card.